Pete, hi. I'm Charlie Buchwalter. I'm SVP of Research and Analytics at Nielsen Online. I'm in San Francisco this week at the AdTech show where we released our newest white paper, which is Global Online Media Landscape. And with all of the continuing innovation and transformation that's happening in the online space, we thought it would be a great time to kind of take stock of all the data we have within Nielsen Online and elsewhere within Nielsen to look at 6 main things happening: internet audiences, online video, social media, mobile, display advertising, and commerce. And we put them all together in this report that's being handed out to all of the paying AdTech attendees, but the PDF and a release and a letter to clients, a letter to employees is all going out first thing Wednesday morning, the 22nd. If there were a couple of things that I think are most important in this report, I think the first one is that there has been a marked change in terms of how people are spending their time online. There's a number of sites, more portal-related things that were big 5 years ago that have kind of disappeared. The big areas right now people are spending time, surprise, on social media, online video, but there's a lot of other niche sites that are getting phenomenal reach now that no one would have thought of 5 years ago. So the big story from an audience standpoint, certainly in the US, is that it's not growth that's the big story, it's deepening engagement with the medium. Now, globally, I have to tell you, growth is still very much a story. If you look and see what's happening in China, and you look and see what's happening in Eastern Europe, phenomenal growth there. So the one story we're seeing in the US isn't really necessarily happening elsewhere around the world, but we'll be keeping track of all that. Second big story, from a standpoint of online display advertising, you're not hearing a lot of positive things about it. People haven't really figured it out. It's not really generating the recall you'd like. So it's very easy for people to kind of start hearing the funeral dirges for online display advertising. Well, the fact of the matter is there's a number of positive things that are actually happening that aren't getting the kind of press I think they deserve. Number one, 3 of the biggest industries that have spent a lot of money in traditional media, which are healthcare, packaged goods, and telecommunications. It's interesting that we are seeing as we move into the recession, these industries are growing online. So we think it speaks for something very interesting for the online space, that these industries, which are no strangers to spending money on advertising, have finally woken up and smelled the coffee, so to speak, with online. The third area, which probably is, we call the big story in this report, is social media. And it's no surprise to everyone that it's a big story. But the thing that's interesting is that everyone, when they think about social media, are we done? When we think about social media, it's all about communities, people communicating with each other, etc. But one of the things that hasn't been covered, we think, enough is how this new medium is transforming how corporations interact, how they outreach, how they inform their advertising, etc. And this is a trend that I think is going to be the story of the rest of 2009, and it's going to lead the way for how this kind of media learns how to monetize itself. So many other things. Mobile, one more point I'll make about social networking. We think it's fascinating that over the last 12 months, mobile access to social networking sites has tripled from around 2 to 3 million people to 10 to 11 million people. And this is a trend, if any of you have teenagers or kids, you know this is where people are spending their time with mobile devices. So that's just a few primers, Pete, of things that we include in this report.
So how do we get it if we're not already getting a copy?
It's going to be on the Nielsen online site. There'll be a link to it, and we'll be getting notes out. And feel free to call me. They can call you, Pete. My email address is charles.buchwalter with an H @ nielsen.com, and I'll be happy to talk to any of you about it.
Thank you.